Okay, it's time to go over the Turkish Get Up. It's one of my most favorite exercises in the world. I fell in love with it as soon as I tried it because I saw how much it taught me. It taught me about where I was disconnected, which turns into weakness, which turns into vulnerability, which turns into lack of strength. I guess that's weakness. And really just control, motor control and competency. And it's such a dynamic movement. When done properly, the opportunities are just limitless. So I'm going to start out with the most basic format, the way that I've learned it. Since the first time I learned it, I have expanded on my own. I've expanded by observing what other people do. So there's really, again, unlimited potential. As someone who trains jiu-jitsu, a really awesome martial art, it's one of those type things where you can just be, you could argue jiu-jitsu has more unlimited things you can do with, but it's in that kind of realm where you can really branch off and just, once you understand the principles, you can really get out there and freestyle and create. So let's start out with, I've got a 25-pound weight here. I'm actually going to demonstrate with the weight, I'm going to demonstrate without. So the first one I'm going to go through is a quick demonstration of what it looks like. We're going to go, in this first video, just the halfway mark. So the get up goes to a full standing, and I will show that as well. But this one is going to be where you want to start, because the first stage of the get up, if you don't have them, it's like stacking bricks or building a house. You want that foundation. What happens with the foundation factors in for the rest of the build. So we're going to get a good foundation on the ground, and then we're going to work our way to standing. Okay, so put this off to the side for a sec. There. Fundamentals. Okay, so on your back, what I like to do is start with the feet together, and I'm going to keep my legs straight, flex my toes towards me. I'm going to separate my legs like I'm doing the splits. And at a certain point, I'll feel like I have to really put effort in to go further. I'm going to feel either tight or that's just kind of my in range. Okay, so I can go out, shimmy out a little bit further, but if you feel a stretch, let's back it off a little bit, bring it in a bit until you feel comfortable. So go to where you feel a stretch, bring it back in. That's your starting point, your personal setting. I'm going to start with the right arm up. So the right leg is also going to be with the knee up position. So what I do is imagine it like a sliding glass door track underneath my leg, and my heel is going to slide right along that track. So I keep this nice alignment in my leg, but I just bend the knee. Now the heel is underneath my knee. I've got a vertical shin there. It doesn't have to be perfect, but if you're concerned with it where it is, if I bring this arm down to the floor and my heel touches the fingertips, that's a good starting point. You can make your adjustments later as you go. There's some base. I'm just giving you a fundamental basic template. Okay, so that's a good starting point. This arm goes up. This knee's up on the same side. The left arm's parallel to the left leg. Okay, so the legs set the distance. The arm goes parallel. Knee comes up. Arm comes up. From here, I'm going to push off this heel. I'm going to roll through my pelvis. So my pelvis starts to kind of come over and engages my core here. Also engages this side of the floor. And then I shift my upper body weight onto the shoulder, which eventually becomes one move up onto the elbow. Okay, so I've got my elbow here, my knee here. This stays in line, my knee stays vertical. My eyes are on the prize, I keep my eyes on the weight there. I'm going to go from here, I'm going to go up to my hand. And then the last one that we're going to consider the halfway mark is going to be a bridge, which is called the high hip hinge, or it's kind of like a bridge, side plank type of thing. You'll see here in a second. So I'm going to basically brace my core and then bring myself up. So I've got that full open hips, going to hip extension, and I've got a nice rotation here. And I've got solid arm locked out here as well, shoulders stacked. So I should be able to be here for a while and be very comfortable. Control back down, reverse out of it, into the elbow, and right back down to the ground. And I'm going to go over some of the tells and things you need to look for as you do this. So that's the introductory get up. Of course, I'm going to switch sides. and do the other side as well. So let's just give you a quick one. About parallel there. Roll through, up to the elbow, up to the hand. Okay, I've got some nice markers here. Foot and knee going this way, hand, fingers and hand going that way. Kind of chest is lined up with that, like there's a wall right here. And this is straight out, more or less vertical. Perpendicular with my shoulders. Eyes on the prize. I've got my shoulders connected, chest out, shoulder blades retracted. Nothing locking up my neck. All I'm going to do from here is brace my core and drive through, kind of like I'm finishing with a kettlebell swing, going into hip extension, solid, controlled, back down, back to the elbow, back to the ground, repeat. Okay, so we're going to load that up, we're going to switch sides, and we're going to build some variations on there. But that, my friends, is the intro to the Get Up. If you're just starting out, watch this video, practice with no weight forever. Not forever, but until you are really confident with it. And then the weight, once you get a little weight in your hand, you can start really light, it'll tell you, it'll start to tell you where you're really falling apart. So you'll feel good, you'll add a little weight, then you'll feel off. You'll feel good again, add a little more weight, you'll feel off. So it has a progression to it, and by the time you're up to a heavier weight, you've got a competency on both sides. You've weeded out the weak links that can hurt you, and you've got a great exercise that not only can teach you how to stay strong and control and be very aware of your body, but also when you get to that level where you really have done it with control, you can take a little time off from it, come back and check in and use it as a self-assessment tool to see where you might have fallen off, some imbalances that get developed over time for other things. That's what's happened to me. I've fallen off it, come back, fallen off it, come back. And now I continue to just check in once in a while to make sure I maintain an ownership of this. It's a insurance policy, making sure I can get up and down off the ground with control, and it's valuable. So highly recommend it, can't speak highly enough. I'm gonna call it right there. Turkish Get Up.